hey, things could get real bright in New York for the Jets because they just traded for that guy's best friend. Davante Adams is a New York Jet, and it came at a cost. Not a crazy one, but it came at a cost. A third-round pick that could turn into a second, I believe, was the final the final compensation. And I guess this means good things for them, but at the same time, like, does this change the long-term outlook for the New York Jets? How do we feel? Chris, go ahead, get us started.
It don't really change. I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think receiver was really their problem. Their problem was.
Oh, it was a problem.
Was it though? Alan Lazard's playing out of his fucking mind.
He leads the league in touchdowns right now.
I don't know. All right, maybe it wasn't the biggest.
Like you said,
they the top 5
They
receiver
traded a pick for him, and you got a top 5.
You do that all day, yeah.
It helps, obviously.
You do that all day.
I just don't think it was a problem for them. Like, we're gonna talk about another trade that happened today with the other team that played in this game. I think that trade's just more impactful based on needs for the teams. Obviously, getting Aaron Rodgers this caliber of weapon, like, it's gonna help the offense. And
Dude,
I think my main main takeaway from the trade is the pressure is on Todd Downing now. Because you got rid of Nate Hackett. Todd Downing did a pretty good job last night. I don't know the exact numbers, but they were a team that was running motion on 20-something% of plays prior with Nate Hackett. They were at motion on 70-something% of plays last night. So
nice.
That's what you want to see. That's something you want to see.
And real quick, they asked Rodgers about that on the Pat McAfee show, and Rodgers' answer was like, "That's our offense. We've been doing that in training camp all summer." And it's like, well, why the fuck haven't you done it in the regular season?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And now he protects his best friend.
Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah,
Love that.
I think we know who Davante Adams is. We know the connection that he had with Aaron Rodgers. I expect that to be. It might take a week because they haven't played with each other in years, but I think those two guys need is a week to get back on the same page. Honestly, you said it when we talked about Davante, the rumors. You said they had one of the best mind melds of all time history in the NFL. So I expect them to get on the same page relatively quickly. But all right, Todd Downing, you got two top 20 receivers. You got a top 5 running back in the league. You got an offensive line that's supposed to be good, and you got a 4-time MVP at quarterback.
It does not look good.
Let's see what you could do, Todd Downing. So my biggest takeaway is the pressure's on Todd Downing.
Yeah. Dude, no, I'm as a Jets fan, like, I'm super excited to see.
You should be.
The value that he has to bring to us. But more importantly, obviously this is going to take targets away from Garrett Wilson. But this is a good thing because it's kind of diversifying the portfolio of our opportunity. Like, our opportunity right now is Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, trying our best with Braylon Allen. He's a beast, but, he hasn't been playing in the league for many years yet, and we're still figuring out what we're going to do with him.
Yep.
Conklin, was practically a game-time decision.
And he
hasn't been doing anything crazy. I mean, the last couple games, like, Rodgers has been, showing him a little bit of love, but for the most part, like, there hasn't been anything too much there of substance.
Hey, Alan Lazard's dogging right now.
Alan Lazard, my goat.
Alan Lazard has played good ball.
Yeah.
Like, played good ball, but for Allen, like, he's had some big drops and big mistakes.
He has.
Hell yeah. And then
Well, leads the league in touchdowns right now.
Yeah.
And then Mike Williams, I kind of feel bad for him because, like, he's a great football player, but he's not doing anything on the Jets. And I don't want to say he's not doing anything on the Jets. He hasn't been great, but I don't want to say he's not doing anything for the Jets. I don't think he's not getting the opportunity. He's not getting targeted. They're not playing him. They're not throwing him the ball. They're not even giving him the opportunity to really show what he could do. So, whatever. I mean,
also coming off a torn ACL.
Right. It's
and then when he was getting targeted, the quarterback throws an interception, the quarterback goes to the podium for the national media and blames it all on him.
Right. So it's like,
he's gone. He's gone.
And
he will not make it to next week.
And it's not even his fault.
Yeah.
It's just like fucked
keep
up.
him around, bro.
They're getting rid of him.
So, whatever. I definitely think, like, I'm excited to see what happens. So, like I said, we have another opportunity. It's going to take targets away from Garrett Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson is, like, Bro, he's just
He's come alive.
He's
the
looked,
past couple
he's
weeks.
looked
He's been
real good
great.
the last couple
That
weeks.
touchdown catch was just naughty. Oh my god, the body control on that shit.
I'm super excited. I mean, I don't think we looked terrible last night. Like,
The
it
offense
wasn't
looked the
terrible.
best it's looked, aside from the Patriots game.
You know what I'm
But that
saying?
game's like just out the window, doesn't count.
I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm a biased Jets fan, or I'll say a naive biased Jet fan.
You're allowed to be.
But the play calling I thought was pretty fucking good yesterday. It wasn't terrible. Do we think that we overpaid for Davante Adams, or do we think it was the perfect in between? I want to say I think it was like just about right.
If you think it's gonna, I mean, if you think it's gonna get you a Super Bowl, then yeah, it's the perfect
Then
price.
what?
Yeah.
And no price is
whatever you
bad.
want.
But you know, at the same time,
Conditional third. If he makes an All-Pro team, it goes to a second. Or if he's on the active roster in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, it goes to a second. Those are the conditions.
right. So I feel like they're like, okay, like we want you, we'll pay you good, show us what you can do.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
What were the conditions?
If he makes an All-Pro team, I'm sorry, did I say I might have said Pro Bowl, but an All-Pro team.
Pro Bowl's a joke.
Which is also tough.
If he
bro,
makes an
switching
All-Pro
a
team,
mid-season.
yeah, if he makes an All-Pro team, first or second, or if he's on the active roster in an AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl,
Okay.
or the Super Bowl, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that
So if he plays on a really
If
fucking
you
high
get
level,
what you wanted out of him,
yeah.
it goes to a second-round pick. If you don't
Right.
if you don't get what you wanted out of him, it's
it's a third, right?
You know?
Yeah. I mean, look, you get a top 5 receiver for a 3rd-round pick and to potentially save your season, bro. You have to do that.
Right.
No, Jazz. Oh my God, this guy, bro. What are you doing?
Greedy.
What are you doing, bro? Obviously, if you get what you want out of him, a 2nd-round pick means nothing.
Right.
Like in this case, it means nothing, especially when you're going for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just. I personally think this was the only move they could make. This was the only move that could potentially save their season. You're 100% right, Tom. Davante and Aaron Rodgers, we've already seen. We've already seen on multiple occasions the type of chemistry that they have. You just said it. I said it in the last time that we talked about the Jets. They should be able to get in lockstep pretty quickly again. I just think they had that type of chemistry to where it's like you'll always have that. And if
Play
you
Sunday
saw,
night, Davante might have like 14 targets.
if you saw, bro, Pat McAfee show, Davante was immediately in New York.
Schefter said he
Raj.
was on a red eye this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Pat McAfee show, he pops in on the screen and he's like,
That was cool.
That was dope. Like, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy, but that was pretty cool.
It was cool. It was cool.
I thought it was cool. But yeah, does this change the outlook for me? No, I don't think they're good enough to compete with a lot of the AFC's best. But, I mean, that could change because this offense could be humming starting next week. And
their schedule is lightening up. I mean, they get
But this was supposed to be the lighter portion of their schedule.
not at all.
Yeah,
the start of the year?
Supposed to be
They're supposed to be 4-0.
5-1 right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe,
The
but
Vikings
like
weren't-
looking forward now.
They weren't supposed to lose to the Vikings.
No. I'm saying, but like looking
were-
forward now.
The Titans, you never like. Oh wait, you
They
won
beat-
that game. You beat
So
the
it's
Titans.
Pittsburgh, it's New England, Houston, and then Arizona, Indy, bye.
Arizona,
Seattle, Miami, Jacksonville, LA. So like after
That's
the
why.
What was the? So
Yeah,
what
that's
was
what
the
I'm saying.
start? What was the start of their
They must-
schedule?
it was
Have you?
They got San Fran. when
San
we
Fran,
thought-
Tennessee.
rough.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to beat San Fran, though, because Ayuk just
Oh, no, I
got
didn't
back.
think they
McCaffrey was out.
But
I thought they were going to
We
be
all
San
thought-
Fran.
Yeah.
maybe I did. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe
I
you're right.
McCaff out.
I
Ayuk just
got
coming
back.
back. You don't have Greenlaw. You don't have
Yeah,
who
no.
flung it,
Yeah,
bro.
but it was Rodgers' first game off the Achilles.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But oof.
Wasn't a
Anyways,
gimme either way.
Yeah,
Jet
no,
fans
not a
were
gimme.
saying 14 and
Yeah,
3,
they have a
bro.
light
Oh
schedule,
yeah, no, but the rest of their schedule. My point is, if the offense is going to get humming, now's the time to do it. Trade should have been made a week ago, but we spoke on that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, go look trying to freaking integrate a guy in Pittsburgh on prime time.
And also,
bro.
like, for the
Yeah,
last
if any-
point
if they
is
can.
test, bro.
Yeah.
That's a test.
the
But
last point
if
I'm
anyone
going to
can,
make
it's
is
Davante and A-Rod.
Davante's contract is up after this year, and Aaron's contract is up after this year.
Well, yeah.
And now there's talks of Hassan Reddick coming back in the building. You want to sign that guy to a 3-4 year deal right now? Like, I guess if you think it's a move that puts you over, you got to do what you got to do to get a Super Bowl. But I don't know. It's not.
You do whatever it takes.
You do whatever it takes, right? But it could get real ugly, real quick.
The last point I'll make before we move on to the other trade is, because we talked about it, his name's already brought up in rumors. I think they'd be stupid to trade Mike Williams right now. So
Well, apparently he's going to likely get traded.
I think that's a mistake. So the reason being
Why they would.
is, I'll tell you why. For as good as Allen Lazard has been, that is the role that Davante Adams is coming in to take. The way Aaron Rodgers wants to play is he wants to get the ball out quick. He wants the prototype. Garrett Wilson and Tay Adams are Z receivers. They're route techs. They're not your big body X receiver, deep threat, And that's not what Allen Lazard is either. I think Mike Williams, just for as bad as he's, for as slow of a start as he's gotten into, I think he's just by far a better field stretcher than an Allen Lazard. And I think that, in this offense where it's going to be dink and dunk, short routes, out routes, slant routes over the middle, dump offs to Brees, Conklin getting involved, you need a field stretcher to keep the defense honest. So I think, it's been a super slow start for him. Last night was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Mike Williams' skill set is exactly what this team needs. For as good as Lazard is, I think he's the odd man out here. I think Mike Williams' skill set is just going to be so important to keeping the defense honest for this team, just with his field stretching ability.
Yeah.
If Mike Williams could do anything, he's a deep threat.
Run down the field.
Yeah.
Because there's been very few quarterbacks that have also thrown a jump ball better than Aaron Rodgers, and Mike Will is one of the better jump ball receivers in the league. And you only expect down the stretch of the season, he's going to get healthier, he should be better. Granted, he's also 30.
30 coming off torn ACL.
30 coming off a torn ACL with a history of injuries. So it's tough.
I guess by logic, because of how good Lazard is, Mike Williams is the odd man out. But I just think skill set wise, Mike Williams as the third receiver to Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams makes so much more sense to me than Allen Lazard.
Yeah.
Just skill set wise. Yeah.
But that's the thing. The idea of him, I guess, is better than him right now. But it's funny because you drafted a guy in the third round to also be at least a decent slot receiver, and he's just an absolute joke and isn't even active on game day. So, sorry, Malachi Coyley. Bro just took a stray, but
Xavier Gibson too.
I like Gibson.
He
doesn't even play.
I'm out. Yeah,
So, but that's another one where it's he's a slot receiver, so it's tough. There's only so much you could do. I always thought Jason Brownlee would turn into something, given all those training camp highlights and stuff. But I guess
he made a few plays when me and Dean went to the training camp live too. When we went before the season started,
he's a prototype X too. He's got the size and stuff. So, but I don't know. Jets are.
That's what I'm saying. Ideally, in my head, Tay and Garrett Wilson are going to be on the same side of the field. One of them will be outside. One of them will be inside. And then if they trade Mike Will, Lazard's going to be the guy isolated. Me personally, the guy isolated running the deep routes. I just think Mike Williams is just so much more of a better fit for that role.
But Rodgers and Lazard already have the chemistry.
Yeah. No, Lazard's playing out of his freaking mind. So I get it. I get it if Mike Will is the odd man out. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I will say, though, I think it's going to be very interesting, shifting gears now, because Josh Allen now just got his own weapon. We're talking about Davante Adams joining up with Aaron Rodgers. Now we're talking about Josh Allen losing gigs and now gaining Amari Cooper. This is going to be interesting. And I think this helps more so than just the player Amari Cooper himself. Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, and all the other guys in the Buffalo Bills offense. And I think this, while no Amari Cooper is not the caliber of player that Davante Adams is, and not even close at this point in their careers, but Amari Cooper to the Bills shifts me on their outlook more than Davante Adams shifts me on the Jets' outlook. And that's where I stand, because you talked about need before. And this was the Bills' number one need. There really wasn't much else of a need. And we saw that last week, that their biggest issue was just the fact that they didn't have guys who could separate. And this helps immensely, because now you allow Amari Cooper, who, yes, leads the league in drops. But I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't think he wanted to play with the guy in Cleveland anymore. He who shall not be named.
Nope.
I don't think he wanted to be there anymore. I think Amari Cooper is going to be very motivated to be back in a winning situation. And Amari's used to playing in cold weather. He played in Cleveland. Granted, it's not as cold as Buffalo, but it's experience in cold weather. Amari has experience in big games, and this is going to help them immensely. I think this is going to be a great move for Buffalo. It's going to show I don't remember what the compensation was. Was it a third?
I don't even know, honestly.
Was it a third?
I was like going into.
Yeah, I think it was a third, but there's probably like some
Conditions
type
or
of
something on it too.
condition.
Yeah. But anyway,
Isn't it nuts? Before I give my thoughts, it's nuts that the Browns got more for trading away Amari Cooper than they had to give up to get him in his prime. They only gave up a fifth to get him from the Cowboys
insane.
and just traded him away for a third.
in case you needed more proof of neglect by the Dallas Cowboys as a front office.
Don't you worry.
That's
We'll
like,
get there.
for as much as a dumpster
there.
fire as the Browns are and the way their organization is run, I feel like that's all you could ask. Trade a
Oh, it's a
fifth-round pick
W,
for
yeah.
a guy, get a good
got everything you possibly
get a
could
good
out of
3-4
him.
years out of him, and then trade him for a third-round pick. Like that's perfect.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's job well done. That gets an applaud for sure.
But just to close on my thoughts of this, I think Josh Allen's going to be real happy. I think you made your superstar quarterback very happy, and I think as this Bills team gets healthier, hopefully throughout the season, given the litany of injuries that they're dealing with at the current moment, this is going to be huge, and this could potentially make Buffalo a real legitimate threat once again in the AFC. So, anyone else thoughts?
Yeah. What's it called? So we asked before we said which one was more impactful trade. In terms of impact, I thought the Davante trade was more impactful because of the effect. I don't want to say this. So
On
Cooper-
Garrett?
not necessarily. So Cooper to the Bills, like that's clearly their worst need, and you filled your worst need with an elite, with a great player.
We hope is still
Great
elite,
player, yeah.
Right.
But Davante, I just think helps the situation. Like the Bills are 4-2. They were getting by without Amari Cooper, you know?
Right.
So if you want to say that it's more impactful because it turns them from very good team to potential Super Bowl contender, potential Super Bowl champion, whatever, and that leap is more valuable to you, then that's fine. But like the Jets with Davante, I think it'll open up so many more things for them, and we spoke ad nauseum about that. So I just wanted to get my thoughts out there about comparing the two. But
Do you think it saved it? Like you're saying, it saved their season?
the Jets,
Yes.
if there was anything
could.
that could,
It
yeah,
could.
Okay.
I'm not going to go there yet, but
It could. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to see how they play next week.
yeah. But Cooper, I have some numbers on Cooper. So you said he leads the league in drops, but where the fuck did it go?
I'll fucking kill myself with this.
Amari
team,
Cooper
dude.
is fifth lowest in catchable target rate at 62.3. So that means only 62% of his targets are deemed catchable. So if he gets 10 targets a game, he really only got 4 of them things, or whatever the math is on that.
Bro, Watson is so bad.
Oh, you ready for this?
Shit, I named him. Sorry.
So this is since 2007, out of 566 passers through 6 weeks of the
saw
NFL
this.
season, Deshaun Watson ranks 558th in QBR, 565th in yards per dropback, and 566th in first down rate. That's Bill Barnwell, an ESPN writer. So Deshaun Watson is absolutely fucking terrible. So if you're gonna base, I mean, everything I've seen from Amari Cooper going out the window this season.
Yep.
Like everything
Gone.
out the window.
See ya. Buenos dias.
That man was hooping with Joe Flacco.
balling.
Hooping.
Best year of his goddamn career.
Hooping
Dude,
with Joe Flacco.
remember what he did to Derek Stingley?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we've seen Josh Allen hyper target his favorite target before, and it just wasn't really working with Diggs anymore. And some people were like, "Oh, they just should have kept Diggs." Nope, wasn't working anymore. And Cooper still got him, man. He does have a few bad drops. Like a few of those drops are just hit him in the hands and just he didn't come down with it. But
Yeah.
when you're in a place you want to play, you're gonna work a little harder. When you're
Yep.
competing, when you're actually
100%.
playing towards something, you're gonna work a little
He's
harder.
playing for a Super Bowl now.
You're gonna run that route a few more times at practice. You're gonna go up for that jump ball, no matter the cost. And like you said,
Because it'll be catchable.
right, like you said, and I think Josh Allen was really high up there in like accuracy or something like that. I forget. I saw that stat somewhere too. But he's Josh Allen, and he's been dealing.
Bro,
this
he's
season.
doing it with, like, he's putting the ball in places that only his receivers can catch,
the
and yet
Mac Hollins touchdown, brutal. brutal. Hit him in the hands. Beautiful throw right up the seam.
I
Hit
didn't
him in the
even see
hand.
it.
Yeah, no, that's why I went to say it to you first, and I was like, he probably didn't see it. But beautiful ball right in his hands. Just stone hands, dropped it. Amari Cooper helps the Bills immensely. I don't know if I'm going to put them at the top of the AFC pecking order. Want to see how it plays
Nah, I
out.
don't.
But, yeah, but I mean, they've also just shown that they can get by. Like you mentioned, the injuries. Sometimes it feels like they don't even miss the guys that are gone. You know what I mean? Like they just
On the defensive side of the ball, guys just come in and
like
out of
Matt
that lineup.
Milano hasn't been there all year, and like I said, feels like they've definitely missed him. But
That's the Sean McDermott effect.
yeah, but so I'm really excited to see what the Bills get going forward.
This moves mountains for me personally. My two biggest only concerns with the Bills going into the season was, one, the defense. They shut me up real quick about that. And the receivers not being able to separate. They get one of the route runners of all-time history.
One of the route runners,
Of our generation,
Oh my
probably
God,
a
yeah.
top 5, top 10, just strictly route runner of our generation. So, like this, and it just, like you said, not only for Amari Cooper and Josh Allen, but just the other guys taking the pressure off
Yep.
them. Like, like the Bills are, I mean, if there was any doubt, like there was doubt for me, but for most people there wasn't. But the Bills are up there. They are a real-life Super Bowl contender. You can make the case that they could be the Super Bowl favorite right now. I don't care that they're only 4-2. You can make that. This is that big of a move. Amari Cooper is that good of a football player and a receiver, and like we said, that was their only need. That was the only thing that was the matter with this football team, besides the kicking.